I've been working on a Harry Potter wand, and I made this one earlier today. Kind of wanted the same color scheme, so I was thinking if I'm doing teal, then do dark teal here and light teal there. But it's just made out of a base of a dowel and has some clay on the handle. I put a bead on the end here. Not all wood beads work well with your dowels. You have to find the one that has the right size hole that can be kind of twisted on there. And then the rest of it is just paint and hot glue, actually, to make this texture on the top. I did want the end of it to be a little bit sharpened, so I used a pencil sharpener to do that. And I'm going to make another one that has some pinks and some burgundy on the handle, so that, you know, I have my lighter color just kind of the same way. So the lighter color on the top will be pink on this next one, and then the bottom will be done with a darker pink or burgundy, something like that. So I also have, for this one I used a shimmery. I used this Pearly Deco Art metallic paint. They make a whole bunch of colors, and this one's a really pretty teal. You do need a few coats of it if you want it to look really, you know, have a lot of shimmer on there and not be able to see the wood or the glue through it. So I might want to go back and do another coat on this one. And I didn't really do any texture or anything. The clay was kind of still drying, so I guess I could have if I wanted to do an imprint of something on this. This is the clay that I use. I'll set that down so I can show you. And this clay is really easy to find at Michael's or Walmart. I got this one at Walmart. It says white. It is definitely not white. I'll show you what it looks like inside. It's very much gray or brown. It looks like, you know, something you pull out of the ground, so it's very natural looking. But that's the clay I use, and it comes in a nice bucket that is reusable. If you you know, use all your clay, you have a nice container you can use for mixing or whatever else you want to do with it. Maybe, you know, for storing things. So I'm going to get a dowel prepared, and I'm just going to sharpen the end of it. As much as you want. Just a little something. I might even go into the bigger size here for the larger pencils, and just kind of soften up the edge where this area was right here, where it kind of had that little bump on there. I didn't want that to be there. That'll just kind of soften it. And this does it in a safe way. You don't have to get on any knives or chisel. And this is safe for kids to do too. So if you're making this with your kids, this is an easy way they can do it. I just love these pencil sharpeners that have the little end on there, so it keeps all the mess inside so you can dump it out later. I really don't like these because it's always on the top and you get little pencil shavings everywhere. So after doing this, I'm going to go and get my, yeah, that's nice. I'm going to get my hot glue fixed on there. And so, you know, you just kind of swirl it up, but I'm not going to do any on the bottom. I'm going to save the bottom half of it. Well, maybe like the bottom third will be for the handle, so I'm not going to put any from here down. So I'm just going to swirl some glue going up from here to the top. And I want it to be messy. I want it to be drippy. Also, notice that I kind of wanted it to look like it was tapered, like it was wider here and then it got thinner as I went up to the top, and not just because I sharpened the top. I wanted it to sort of give the illusion of that with the hot glue. So I put a little more hot glue down at this part than I did at the top. As I went up to the top, it got a little bit less and less and less. So, and I kind of kept it going in a spiral motion as well, but you know, whatever you want to do with it. All right, so right about here where I know my handle's going to start, I think I'm going to go around, put some glue all the way around here just to kind of be my little marking point, so I know that's where I'm going to stop. Won't be putting any more glue past this point right here. You can always come back and do another layer of glue on top of it later. Just twist it around, maybe blow on it to let it dry, and then you can work your way up. Remember, I'm going to do a little more here at the bottom, and then as I go up, my spiral is going to get more and more spread out, so that way it'll just look thicker at the bottom than it does at the top. Don't let it drip on anything. You're putting a lot of glue, it could drip. So if you got it on above anything nice or anything you don't want to get glue on, I think this mat is pretty much indestructible, so I won't worry about that. I can peel anything off of it. But you wouldn't want to get any glue on your nice table or tablecloth or anything. I'm just going to continue going up to the tip of this. You can go as far up as you like, and you can always come back and put some in between anywhere you want on there. There we go. I continue going all the way up to the tip of this. And how do you know when your glue is dry and safe to touch? Well, it's not shiny anymore. It's not see-through. It starts to get a little bit cloudy. And so I started at the bottom. This part should be dry, and it's still warm, so it's still a little bit pliable, malleable, but you can touch it all the way up to the top now, and you can definitely see that it's definitely not transparent anymore. So that'll be ready to paint, and that looks really cool when you put a little color over that. It's just kind of, you know, the whole thing comes together. You don't see it as wood and glue anymore. You see it as just one solid piece. So I'm going to get some clay out of this bucket. I'm also really excited to get to use this right here because I bought this a while ago. It's Glamour Dust as a like a coating. So it has Glamour Dust in a pink colored, I guess it's like a varnish. It's not really a paint. It's a very thin paint if it is one, but I thought this would look really cool to go over my regular pink paint that I'm going to put on there, because then when it dries, you see a bunch of sparkles on there, and you don't have to shake the glitter on the wet paint. It's already in it. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I hadn't seen that before. Let's see here. So let's just get out some of this clay. Now this clay, if you're going to be keeping it out and open for a while, you want to have a bucket of water around, because it'll dry up. It'll start to get crummy. But if you're going to work fast with it, then that's okay. You can just kind of keep the lid near it, kind of put it on over the top when you're not using it. It doesn't really make a very tight seal. Just make sure that it doesn't get exposed to the air. I'm going to make little round balls that I'm going to slide over onto this and just kind of push them up to the top, so that this one has a different looking handle than the other one that I made. Okay. I don't have to worry too much about what the bottom's going to look like, because the bottom's going to have another ball sitting there. All right, just like that. And it does dry out your hands. Your hands will feel pretty yucky with this stuff. It feels very, very sandy, very dusty. But if you have a bowl of water nearby, and if that feeling on your hands bothers you, and you can just dunk them in the water. And then putting a little bit of water on this clay too can also help to kind of smooth out any wrinkles or spots that you don't like on there if you're trying to fix it. That will help with that. So I'm just going to make different size little nubs that I can put on there, and that'll be the handle of this one. So it's something a little different, because the other one I just had like a plain kind of a straight shaped handle, although I left it lumpy so it looked kind of natural and old. And I call these Harry Potter wands, although I'm not modeling them after any particular witch or wizard. I'm just doing my own thing. That's what's fun about these, and these are really nice for a kid's birthday party or something like that. So you're doing a Harry Potter theme. This is a fun little craft to do. So here's a cool thing. I just put the last one on there for the handle. It's pretty heavy now, and I just found a bead that would go on there nicely, so I might put a little bit of hot glue underneath, and then just slip that bead on there so it'll kind of help my handle to stay on. So one thing I found out while doing this last year, I just found a little bead to stick on the end, put a little hot glue underneath it, so that's just a wooden bead there, is that hot glue does not adhere to this type of clay, not while it's wet, not while it's dry. So if you're trying to repair it because maybe it cracked or crumbled, or if it dries, and then if the kid drops it on the ground, and these beads will crack and then maybe pieces fall off, you can't repair them with hot glue. The hot glue will look like it's sticking, and then eventually it'll just pop right off. It's just too smooth. Something about this texture, it just does not work with hot glue. So all you can really do to repair it is use more clay, and at that point, if it's dry clay, you'd have to get your hands wet with some just a little bit of clay, almost make like a paste with it. And so see, it all gets all over your hands. You'd almost make like a paste with it, and then just use it to gently repair the areas that were broken and stick them back together, or just remake the piece that broke. So I don't know why, but I'm kind of sticking to a theme here where it is oh, that's gooey. Where it is a lighter color on the top and a darker color on the handle. So that is what I'm going to do on this one too, just so they kind of match. So there's my pink color I'm going to use on the top. Very excited to try the Glamour Dust glaze, which doesn't look like it's very sparkly right now as I poured it out, but when it dries, the pink mostly dries like a sheer pink, because it's the way it looks there. It's kind of sheer, and then you can just see the glitters in it. And also here, this is for the handle, so just a darker version of the same color. Just kind of found something that sort of matched. And then let's get this thing painted up. Well, one thing I'm already starting to see that I like better about the metallic paint is that when it dries, it has that shine to it, so it looks like it has a finish. It looks like I put something shiny or glossy over it. When this one definitely dries very matte. This pink that I'm using here is just regular Craft Smart, so it's not a glossy or satin finish or anything like that. I do hope that when I put the Glamour Dust stuff over there, that will kind of fix that for me, and it will give it that little shine when it dries. I think it will. It kind of looks like it's got a shine to it. Now before I start putting the Glamour Dust on there and before I start the handle with the darker color pink, I'm going to blow this dry so that way I have a part that I can touch, which is going to be the top part. I'm going to need to hold that still like this, while I do my handle, so that way I don't touch the handle while I'm painting it. And I'm also going to kind of touch these clay balls with the dryer, so that way it'll kind of dry up the surface of them a little bit. They'll still be mushy inside, so you still want to be gentle with them, but at least, when I paint them, I won't have to worry about leaving little marks with the bristles on the paintbrush on there, because it won't be as smushy on the outside. So let me go and do that real quick too. Regular Glamour Dust in a shaker bottle is a lot nicer and more sparkly than this, so this doesn't replace it, but it is kind of cool because it's got the pink coloring and the coating in there, so it's kind of like, I see it like a 2-in-1, so it's saving me from having to brush any varnish on here before I put the glitter. It's kind of got it all at once, but it is making it like a nice little kind of a pearly finish, which is what I wanted. I think if you had some pearly paint, that would be fine too. That would take, you could put it on over any color and it would just give it that shimmery sort of metallic look. I'm just going to brush a little bit down here on the handle of this, and then just set it up somewhere to dry. That's where I'm holding it. I'm just kind of keeping my finger here on the tip of it, because it's a good place to hold it where I know it's not going to be too sticky. And I'm even avoiding painting anything there for now while it's still drying. Oh my gosh, these are so cool when you see them side by side together, and they're way better than the $40 ones you can buy from Universal, that are already made, because you get to customize these. You can put your own colors and whatever you want on there. These are really cool.